Hello and welcome to American Stories. I'm Saida Pagan. Our guest today is a true Renaissance man. Jorge Rabaso is not only a published author, he's a successful business person, but most importantly, he's the founder of an organization that brings Latino business owners together from all over the world. Thank you so much for joining us, Jorge.
No, thank you, Saida. Thank you for inviting me. For me, it's a privilege to be with you. Thank you so much.
Jorge, tell us about your journey from Argentina to Los Angeles, California. How did this all begin?
Well, I born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and when I was 25, I decided to come to this country, and it was a journey because when I arrived here, I didn't have enough English, I didn't have enough money, and I just came here to see what the American dream was about. And to immigrate side is something very, very, very difficult. It's not something easy. And so I did everything I had to done in order to succeed. I mean, I was delivering paper in the morning. I was delivering packages. I was a messenger. Remember that time there were no emails, so you had to go, from one time from one place to another in the city. And I was very hard. But one of the things I have done, and if someone here in this video is very important, is that English is very important. So the first thing I did was to learn English, to be able to communicate and to be able to develop myself in this country. But it is a journey, and it is something that I will never regret. And aside, something I haven't known anyone who immigrate to this country that regret of doing that. Maybe there's some, but most of the people that came here, they are very, very happy to be living in this country. So it
And
was
you're,
a
yes, and you're doing something that is so important, bringing business owners together. How did you get this idea to establish your network of business owners?
well, it's a very good question because I'm gonna tell you the truth. The truth was when I started with my profession 30 years ago, I was an insurance agent, life insurance agent. And I don't know anyone in this country. So don't ask me why I became a life insurance agent. I became a life insurance agent. You know what, Jorge, it's time, to go and find people. I will remember all my life when I was in the ninth floor, in this building in Los Angeles, looking to all the houses and saying to myself, how I'm gonna do this? So all the people there are going to go to see if they need life insurance. So I discovered at that time, and my English wasn't good enough, that I should go to the Hispanic market. And then I discovered there was a lot of networking meetings. But at that time, the Hispanic people didn't get together. You had different organizations. You have all the Mexican together. You have all the the American, the Latinos that are born in this country together. You have all the Argentinians together, the dentists of Peru together. So I say, well, why if I don't put them together as a networking? And that's what I did. I went to Denny's that was near my house. It was a place in Denny's. I said, let's put these people together and let's see if we can do business between us. And that's the idea to put the communities together at that time. Something that now doesn't happen. See, through the years, a big change was that all the Latin people is getting together. So I'm doing something similar with multicultural, but this is something maybe you're gonna ask me. But
Yes,
the,
I am going to ask you about multiculturalism. But what I wanted to find out is exactly how does your network work? You mentioned all over the world. So tell us how you do this.
well, this is a big change that it came with the technology. So at that time, it was only people from Los Angeles or only people who can go to Denny's or whatever place together and talk about our business. Then, as years goes by, I start to speak better English, and my accent was better, and then I start to move towards the American world, to the real world in the United States. And now, when I'm talking about all over the world, for the Latino community is because of network, is because of the technology. Now we have internet, we have Zoom, and we have people coming from all over the world. So the difference is, the difference in the years is because of the technology, basically. But the Hispanic Business Network, at that time called Hispanic Business Network, was an organization that I had for 25 years and I always put people together. Now, after 15 years, when I started to speak again, better English, I started to get contact with the American community, the English speaking community. I said, okay, now it's time for me to put the communities together that speak English. Then I start to join people from different communities. I want to say different communities. I mean African Americans. I mean Latinos. I mean the gay community. I mean the Anglo-Saxons. I put all the communities together, and we have done unbelievable lunch meetings, in downtown, and the people was coming. What was the mission of that one? The mission of the multicultural is still, because I'm doing the same thing now by Zoom online because of the technology. So we don't have to get together again. So the mission is how we can learn from different communities. So if I ask to an African American man, what do you think the best advice to give to the people is? Is the same advice that someone from China is going to give me? Is the same advice that someone from Latin America is saying? So now I put these communities together in order to learn from each other. It's very, very powerful. It works very, very nice. And I'm very happy to do that because I really believe, we really believe, and say we because in our Hispanic network community, we have a board of directors. We really believe that putting the communities together are going to improve our cities, it's going to improve our life, and it's going to improve our world. And we have to start from one point, and that's what we are doing. Very
So
happy.
it has a residual effect. It's not only impacting business, but other areas of society and other aspects of our lives. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, of course, but it goes from inside out. And what I mean is that all of the things, in one way or another, may end in business because people know each other and people start to study each other. What happens if I say that sometimes I think, and it happened to me, I say, okay, I have to buy a new car, okay? So as a community, we go to our own community. I want, to someone Latino to talk to me about, how the car works. So I say, why I don't, for this time, have the experience to go and do business with someone African American, or Chinese. Why I don't do that? Because we live in the way that we feel safe in our own communities, and that's something it should be changed, especially in the United States, especially in this country. This country, the American dream, is something like we have to get together and have a better world. Why don't we work, all of us, trying to do that? Why? Because
Your goal is to get people to have a better life and to realize their American dream. Is that correct?
right, exactly. But you know what, Saida, if you think what is the best or the most smart way of living is to learn from others. Because I know how Argentinian people think, most of them. But I don't know how Chinese people think when I was 25, when I was 30. So why I don't get idea from them? Why I don't synergize? And when you synergize, life goes better. So why I don't ask for advices to people that are living in another part of the world? Why don't I try to learn from them? And after doing this for a long time, because the multicultural I opened, let's say 15 years ago, now it's by Zoom, before it was in live. You know what I learned? It's very, very interesting. I learned the universal law work for all of us.
That's amazing.
That's
Yes.
universal law. You see? So we know what is good, we know what is bad. And there is a lot of things that we know exactly. It doesn't matter where you're born. That's called universal law.
Now, you've written two books, correct, Jorge? Tell
Yeah.
us about your books.
Yeah, what is for
Three? Okay.
yeah, what is for business? Yeah, it's a It's Money Matters with my good friend Adam Torres. Um, when one was, it's called the 12 Key for Success. That one was written in Spanish. And actually, I wrote that book because I read a book called The Seven Habits of the Highly Effective People. When I found this book, I'm talking about 25 years ago, it was amazing. So I called Franklin Covey Company and said, give me the permission to teach this to the Hispanic community. And they did. And this is something pro bono I have done almost all of my life. But after 15 years of teaching these 7 habits of the highly effective people, I decided because in 15 years I was reading another books. And then I read another one called Think and Grow Rich. So I put all the things together and I wrote this book, The 12 Key for Success People. So I have been doing this, Saida, for all my life, once a month to most immigrant people in Spanish. Why? Because when I read this book, we had the 7 habits in America. Be proactive, start with the in mind, think win-win, start to understand, feel to understand, and then to be understood. In our cultures, we have the -7 habits. We are not proactives, we are victims. We don't start with the end in mind. We don't think win-win. So when I read this, I say this is something we had to teach to the Hispanic community, especially the people who immigrate to the United States, because the reason why this country is working this way, and the reason why most of the countries, the first world countries are working this way, is because they work in another way. They think in another way. They have another education. And have been doing this for almost 25 years. Then I end with this, yeah, the 12 key, and sometimes, not sometimes, I think once a month, people call me, to people from Hispanic communities call me to give these motivation speeches to them. Now, what is the difference? Well, we have the beauty of internet. Now I can be talking, in front of 200 people, something like 10 years ago, it's gonna take me 1 year to be maybe in front of 200 people. So it's a big difference. And the second book is about poems. Through my life, I wrote a lot of poems. So one day I decided to choose some of them and rewrite them into with in English. So basically, I had the experience of writing them when I did. I was in my 20, 26, 30, 14, 18, 40, 50. And then I choose some of them. I say, why I don't rewrite them into Spanish? So it's called Two Languages for the Same Feeling. And in some way, it's also the way to learn the other language because you have, if your second language is Spanish, you can read this book and see, okay, this is how the same feelings same in the other language. So it sounds very, very happy, to write in. This is a book with poems and with some short stories.
Absolutely. And then you also have a very successful insurance business. Tell us about your business.
Well, see, my life in America is about networking. So when I start with New York Life, actually, as an insurance broker, life insurance, they told me, Jorge, you had to do 100 phone calls a day. I said, how am I gonna do 100 phone calls a day? I just came to this country, my English wasn't understandable, so it's impossible. So I started to walk the street in the Hispanic neighborhood, and I worked so hard at that. I mean, sometimes I look back my life and I say, how did I do this? And I did this because of basically 3 factors. One was because I was very hard. The second one was because I really, really, really study as much as I could, English and my business. And the third thing is I had to beat my own confidence. I was shy like everyone else, but I had to survive. So I was working on myself. How I can do this, how I can do work with myself when I was so shy and so insecure about how it's gonna be doing. But on these three things, my success is I had America, I had the United States as an umbrella. I always say this. United States is the umbrella of everything I have done. Because I go to my country, I go, to different countries in the world, and I know that they work very hard. I know they study very hard. I know they fight with their shyness. I know they have the same dreams. They have the same feelings. But you know what they don't have? They don't have the United States besides that. And this is a big thing that we don't have to take for granted. The United States helped me to develop everything I want to do. And I did. And I really, really succeeded. I'm very happy about my profession. And also, Saida, I'm very proud about my, my profession because I'm teaching, I'm helping, and to be a good professional when you have to be looking for the business. I'm very proud. What I'm doing is I'm making the difference in people's life. Something like my group, the multicultural, like the Hispanic network we is having doing for the 25 years that we have, is to do the difference, to be the figure of transition. And to be the figure of transition means that everything goes through you improves. Everything goes through our organization improves. And everything that goes through my professions, when you have a good broker, when you have a good loan officer, when you have a good lawyer, we all have to be a figure of transition. Means came to me and he gets better.
Going back to your insurance business, what is the exact name of your insurance business and what kind of insurance do you sell?
Okay, my name is Rabaso Insurance because I'm a broker. That's the good news. So what I do is I have contract with almost 40 companies. So I am be able to find the product, I'm gonna be able to find the price, and I'm gonna because it's life insurance, disability insurance, long-term care, and I do also annuities. So because I'm a broker, I can go shop around. There's some people with some health conditions, and they don't get coverage in one place, so I can go to one company and go to another company and get almost about prices. I shop around. That's why I didn't get married with any company. So I do the best. I shop around. Yeah. What the other question you have?
Yes, well, I wanted to also find out the exact titles of your books and how our viewers can access those books.
Well, they can go to Amazon. They can put. Thank you for the question. They can go to Amazon and they can put Jorge Rabaso, and they're gonna be all the books there, and they can read it. And I'm gonna be very happy to go to. If it happens. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I know a lot of people want to find out more about the Hispanic network that you've put together for business people all over the world. So, where can they find out more about that as well?
Well, they can go to our page, I call hispanicgroup.com, and they can email to me, rabaso@hispanicgroup.com, and I'm gonna be very happy to help the person who need help, and I'm gonna be happy at the same time to the people that we have in Latin America who have a lot of contacts in our Hispanic world, and maybe gonna be very helpful for um, for all the people who needs that. But see, say that when you put people together, there is something when you're in business that I learned a long time ago. eh, Everything in life that you give come back. It does, in one way or another, come back. So when we put people together, when we do the multicultural Zoom, when we share ideas, so everything that we are doing that is something good for the community, something good for the humanity, in one way or another, come back. So we're gonna be very happy if we can help people, and we are doing actually every day. And with the multicultural also, what we do is once a month we invite very well-known leaders that coming us to teach us about different things about motivation, about stress, about time management. So we invite these people, they talk about different things, but also we do breakout rooms. In the breakout room, people, put the idea all together. Well, basically, life is a growing process. Doesn't matter how old are you. Life, when you say, I don't want to learn anymore, well, at that time, the game is over. So this is a big mistake. We always have something to learn. But what is also very beautiful is that we also always have a lot of things to teach. And that's something that we are doing in our group, from the very beginning is, okay, you learn this in this group, you learn this in this class, in this motivation class, whatever it is, go and teach it. Because when you teach, you feel good. When you teach, you put the things on yourself, and it's a good way of living. It's where happiness is there if you teach. People, they have to, they had to tell us something in school, right? So why don't you teach this and this? I'm gonna be happy with it. But we don't get that kind of education. So for some reason, most of us are talking about and thinking about ourselves, and we forgot how happy we are to start to think of others.
Well, Jorge, thank you so much for sharing the knowledge because that's what I'm all about as a journalist and an educator. Sharing the knowledge is so important because you can have it, but what good is it to have it if you can't share it, right?
Right, exactly. When you know, you have to share it. It's the
Absolutely.
way, it's the way to be happy. It's the way to feel alive. It's the way to hear thank you. It's the way people are going to remember why our life has sense. Why we're living for something. Why? What we're living for.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for this edition of American Stories.
No, thank you for giving me this opportunity. You see, I feel very happy today. This is a special day for me because you give me this opportunity. So thank you. Thank you and good luck to you.
And
Thanks.
thank you for joining us for this edition of American Stories. I'm Saida Pagan.